esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here from the Cyber Sports Arena in Kiev as we get ready for Game 2 of EG versus Cloud9, two teams that know each other very well. Well, with that said, of course, I'm LD. We've got a special guest joining us. It's going to be Bulba. We finally gotten a player to join us up here on the desk. You guys are very shy.
Am I shy?
Yeah, you dodged. He wanted to get some vegetarian food, and they didn't have any.
Yeah.
Did you get some good food?
I got grilled vegetables, dude.
Okay.
Did you get your fried rice as well?
Yeah, I did.
Good. Are you feeling better now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Bulba, did you get a chance to watch Game 1?
I did. I saw the... after I missed the first 10 minutes or so, but I saw most of the game.
What do you think
What
about
were your overall thoughts on the game?
I think the Slark kind of screwed with the heroes that C9 have. They couldn't really stop him. They couldn't contain his laning phase. And the Centaur got way too shut down, I think, on bottom lane. Also, the Jakiro pick, I don't think you give EG Jakiro in a game like this. I think that's by far their best hero, especially right now. You can see, I think their win rate on Jakiro is insanely high. So
that's what Secret did against them, and it worked well for them.
Yeah, we did that as well. Like, I think it's Suicide giving them Jakiro, and obviously you can see now Cloud9 actually banned the Jakiro, as well as banning the Razor. So I think those are the two bans that teams, I think Secret will probably ban as well versus EG, which if they do play EG, it'll be Jakiro and Razor. So
of course you can't ban everything against EG, and they get the Lycan Visage. In the previous game, they banned the Drow, and I thought maybe it was just mind games from PPD, like making them think he wanted Visage, so they would waste a ban on it. They did ban it, but this game EG actually take it. So you've got Hal, you're familiars. Pretty good push here from EG. What are your thoughts on EG's Visage? Because they run it quite a bit. Most teams just run the Drow Visage, but they pick it with other compositions.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how, whenever you pick a Visage as your support hero, it's always interesting to see how they give farm priority to the Visage. Whether it be when you run Drow Visage, the Drow goes in jungles at level 6. When you're in Visage with other heroes, we had Visage Tinker quite a long time. People used to pick Visage Tinker in the same lane. And Tinker, as soon as he got his bots, he used to leave the lane to Visage. Visage always needs the farm, you know? He's eventually going to need farm priority in the lane. And he has to eventually become the top 3 farmers on their team. So a way they can do this is if they can safe lane the Lycan, and then EG could safe lane the Lycan, and then once Lycan gets some level where he can go in jungle with the Vlads, they can maybe give the lane to Visage. They also can run the Lycan mid. I think that right now they're going to run a Lycan safe lane, and they're going to have Visage and Venge as their 2 supports. Meanwhile, Cloud9 have the Terrorblade and Panda. And these 2 heroes, this is their favorite Terrorblade combo. I think these are the 2 best heroes. I think they won every game they got this combo with, especially in China when they went to the Chinese LAN.
Brew was banned in Game 1.
Yeah, because you don't give... Panda is Fada's best hero by far, I think, right now in this metagame. It fits his playstyle the most, as well as Terrorblade obviously fits Cloud and Envy the most. So you're giving Cloud9, I think, their 2 best heroes, but you're also banning the Skywrath Mage and the Drow. I'm not so sure about the Skywrath Mage ban over the Panda ban, but obviously EG has a plan for this. Usually EG also, they like picking the Witch Doctor versus the Panda, but I want to see how they deal with the Panda right now, because Panda is quite good versus those 2 supports. Visage is quite easy for him to kill because Visage has low armor early game, especially when you don't level up the passive, and Venge also is kind of an easy kill. So
EG has a lot of aura potential going into this game right now, because you have the Vengeful Aura, Lycan that likes to go for the Bloods, he likes to go for the AC if the game lets him, and the Visage the Verse are going to just get a lot out of it as well. So as Cloud9, do you have something to contest that if it goes to the point where these guys get early items, lots of armor, the mech up?
It's all about like these team fights, because in how the game is right now, it's like you can win one team fight, you just it's hard to come back after you win that one team fight. And EG, you're gonna know they're gonna be on Dire, so they're always gonna have the Dire advantage on Roshan. So the way the EG plays, especially on Dire, is they play a lot greedier on Dire, I think, than they play on Radiant. So they're gonna abuse the Roshan a lot more and go on a timing.
How big of an advantage do you think it is in this patch? Because a lot of players have said they don't really think Dire has much of a Roshan advantage.
I still think it's
anymore.
an advantage. I actually think with some heroes on Dire, it's actually even better, more of an advantage. I think if you get like Dire Batrider, it's really hard for Radiant to go Roshan at all, because if you go Roshan, there's like this tier 1 on the bottom lane is really close. There's also that little cliff there on the right side. I think Dire still has an obvious advantage on Roshan. That's why you also see when a team picks Death Prophet always usually be on the Dire side, because Dire side Death Prophet is just still broken because it always secures your Roshan.
Gotcha.
So and then Cloud9 also have the Tide Hunter. They have this Tide, Panda, Terrorblade.
This
Tide
is
clone.
a very Secret-esque draft right now.
Yeah.
Although Secret would probably pick the Terrorblade later on, but they're getting the same types here. This Tide Brew combo, we saw that from S4 as well as Fly yesterday.
Yeah. So the only weakness so far I see, the weakness I see in Cloud9's draft so far is that they've already, when you pick these 3 core heroes as your first 3 picks, you kind of set the lanes already. The other team usually knows what you're going to lane. It's like 95% chance that they're going to send Panda mid, Terrorblade safe lane, and Tide off lane. And EG can use that to advantage because there are ways you can punish this. I want to see how they actually punish this. Another thing that I saw that EG did with the Venge and the Visage when they played versus Navi, I think in one of the games, they had Venge Jakiro. They rotated to the offlane where Universe was playing that Ogre Magi offlane, if you recall that game. And they actually smoke ganked level 1 and they snowballed Universe's lane while they let Fear safely with the Weaver, if I recall. So that was one of the ways they dealt with that. And look what it is. Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Volva, I want to ask you a question. When I was talking to a lot of pro players right now during the tournament, a lot of people believe that Ogre Magi is like a god tier support right now. And we've seen C9, EG, and previously Alliance kind of ignoring the hero in these 2 series. What are your thoughts on that?
Ogre Magi, I think the biggest change on that hero was the Bloodlust affecting going through the BKB. It's kind of like Empower through the BKB. I think it was a really big change. Before you BKB'd when you had Bloodlust on and...
yeah, you lost
it. And obviously, besides that, the Aghanims is... I think he's by far better as a support in the core, except in very extraneous situations. I think that one of the reasons he's really good, especially the way Secret run him, is that they go boots on him level 1. He has really insane armor, and he kind of secures the lane. He can run around. He has really good roaming potential, and also scales very well late game. And also you have to note the way Secret plays. They always focus on these stuns that can go through BKB in the late game, or that can initiate before a team has BKB.
Yeah.
Case in point, No Tails Earthshaker. Case in point, Fly using the Tide Ravage as soon as the BKBs are over when he's looking at the BKB on the actual hero. All these little things let them come back into the game. And that's one of the reasons that Ogre is actually really good, is because you can get the stun off. It's instant cast stun besides the actual cast animation. There's no
travel time
projectile. So you can get the stun off on someone. And that's one of the reasons I think he's really strong as well. So
do you like the hero yourself?
Yeah, I think he's a very strong hero. I think I don't see it working very well in Cloud9. I know Pi doesn't like really playing that hero. I think AUI sometimes likes the hero. EG don't really run it as support. I think one game or so they ran it as support, but some of the games I see them run offlane.
They're going to go Bane here. This is a hero we haven't seen much of in quite some time. I think he was banned once or twice versus Navi. And they may have picked him once this tournament, I seem to recall, but we haven't seen the Bane Mirana duos like we used to.
I was going to say, is this like a setup to the Bane Mirana, or at least a bait for that Mirana van right there? Because if you put these 3 heroes there, except for the Terrorblade, TIE Hunter and Brewmaster can do very well on their own.
Yeah. You know what hero I could feel that EG could pick for an offlane, by the way? Well, I feel they could do the offlane Zeus right now. I actually think it's not that bad. Especially versus the Terrorblade.
They have run Zeus a few times, actually.
Yeah.
Them and Vici Gaming.
I'm not sure if they would. I'm just thinking about what they could run offlane, because that's the hero they need right now. Because they already kind of secured they already set their lanes kind of where Fear will be safe lane the Weaver, and there will be a mid Lycan. So I want to see what EG picks as their offlaner. And there's a Void. I'm not so sure about Void. I think Bane is very good versus Void. I think Panda's also has the situations where he owns Void, and Tide is also I don't know if
everyone here is good versus Void.
Yeah.
Even Drunken Hazes and the Brewmaster now keeps evasion inside of Chronosphere.
Yeah, so I'm gonna wait and see. But the problem is if they pick the Zeus, they lack the stuns, right? They don't have any stuns and
they don't have any team fight either, aside from some damage.
Yeah,
but they have very good chasing.
Clockwork might not be that bad, but then they have no way of really clearing the illusions on the Terrorblade. But I don't know if they really need that.
Their Shaker's still there.
Yeah, they could run a Shaker offlane. I don't know if they would do that. That could be such something.
Korok style Shaker?
Yeah, but then if they run the Shaker offlane, they need a way for him to secure farm. And the way they did it versus Navi is they rotate the supports automatically, and they try lane aggro, and they leave Fear solo with the safe lane.
Maybe how do you feel about Weaver 1v1 versus Terrorblade?
Okay,
it's going to be a bad rider.
Okay.
It's definitely a safer pick than running this offlane Zeus. Yeah. Good lockdown versus Terrorblade.
I would have liked to see an offlane Zeus.
They don't really have the same, last game they were great against Illusions. They had the Mana Drain, the Hex, the Mass AoE of Earthshaker, multiple Yule Scepters, a ton of AoE from Jakiro. They won't be able to deal with these Illusions from Cloud9 as easily if they get ahead.
This is a scarier game, I think, for EG, because I think the Panda, I feel this is a very good Panda game, actually. Looking at the heroes that EG has, they don't...
the supports are pretty squishy. Lycan is vulnerable to just being cycloned and ignored in fights. And you can also disrupt the Batrider initiation.
Yeah. A reason that EG picked the Batrider as well as offlane on the Dire side is they
it's a Bane Alchemist.
Bane out. Okay.
Good partner for Bane.
Yeah. I think the reason that Cloud9 did this is because they want to just constantly defend. They want to defend the tower. They don't want to give the towers up early game to EG. So, and they also can wait. That's a way they can contest the fights. Because if you notice, this Alchemist Panda does very well. I think Panda Alchemist is a very good heroes together. Because the Acid Cloud and the Panda ulti, the ultimate on Panda utilizes minus armor very well. That's why I like these Venge. I like Venge Panda together, like these heroes that can have minus armor. Because the Fire Panda and as well as the other pandas do a lot of damage when the other team has minus armor on it. So I think a good Acid Spray as well as a good Panda ulti could be really good for Cloud9 fight.
Well, how do you put this? Are you going to static lane these two supports, or are you going to try to roam? Because if you roam, the turret blade is kind of exposed, but these look like supports that want to roam and find kills.
I think they should roam on Arteezy's lane mid. I think that's an easy gank for them. I think that's the play they should make. They roam on mid with the Bane Alchemist and get a good Panda stun. I feel that EG doesn't really have that good counter gank right now. They don't have a Shaker like last game. They don't really have a... I don't think Visage and the other heroes that good at counter initiating.
So there we go.
And with that, we're underway. Cloud9 versus EG. It's game number 2 in a best of 3. And if EG win this, they move right on to play Secret. Whoever wins will be at a 1-game disadvantage to Team Secret in that best of 5 grand finals as they come in with the winner's bracket advantage. On the Radiant, you've got Cloud9, who need to make a bit of a comeback here. Mag will be standing as that offlane Tide. He had a bit of an off game on the Centaur. Let's see if he can recover here on the Tide. We've got your support, Pylai Dai Bane, Eternal Envy, now 8-1 on his Terrorblade. He took his first loss ever on the hero in that game earlier. AUI 2000, your Alchemist, and that puts Fada onto the Brewmaster. For the offlane for EG, Universe going on his Bat. Last time we saw his offlane Bat, I think he got like 4 kills in 5 or 6 minutes. It was ridiculous. Let's see if he does again. Arteezy, solo mid, like it once more. Zai, your support Visage, PPD, the Vengeful Spirit, and that leaves Fear on the Weaver.
I want to see. I think the thing to focus right now is EG supports. I want to see what they do. In my opinion, they need to make. They need to pressure the enemy safely and somehow. They can't let enemy free farm. I think this, but they need a way to pressure the other lanes. So in my opinion, Fear with Howl damage is able to solo this Tide Hunter, especially if they maybe pressure him at least 1 wave or so. So I want to see what they do.
Yeah, the Tide also started with boots, which is going to make him a lot more susceptible to early Weaver harass.
I mean, the question is also who's going to stack the Ancients for the Tide Hunter if they decide to do so. It seems like with the roaming supports, unless they go there very often.
Oh, they just missed on the D ward. That hurts.
That 850 range.
Yeah.
So it looks like EG supports are just going to go for the safe lane play. They're not going to really roam early on.
Yeah. And Mag is going to be bullied by the rest of the guys as well. Zai, he found nothing. Got the rune top.
There was an illusion picked up by the Visage.
Okay.
But they're going mid now. He's just trying to pressure Fada.
This is a very hard lane for Universe, actually. Batrider versus Bane itself. Bane is actually one of the most annoying safe lane supports to play versus Batrider.
And they have great follow-up with the stun, so like he's just going to go jungle.
It's like Bane, SD, Disruptor, Rubik. You know, these supports are kind of annoying for Batrider often because it's this instant thing that can stop him in his Firefly. You can disable him off. If Bane gets a really good sleep off, and then sleep just sets positioning. I think Bane is probably one of the best supports that's actually threatening offlaner's life. When you're playing offlane versus the Bane,
they go on Mag.
They're going to stun Mag top. It's only they don't have the Howl, though. They used it earlier on Arteezy. Thought they could get in range with the Grave Chill, but they weren't able to. So.
Yeah. And also mid lane, I know Arteezy played this matchup versus Dendi. I don't know if Dendi got help mid or not, but Arteezy just straight up left the lane very early to go jungle. This is actually a very hard lane for Lycan, I think.
Yeah, most Brews I've seen have crushed Lycan's 1v1 mid.
Yeah.
Do you go level 4 Drunken Haze?
I don't know. I don't think Fada will. I think it's you just spam the clap and you threaten the lane. You just you stop cancel the clap when the Lycan comes close. You threaten him. He can't take too much clap damage. I think what EG is going to do is they're going to get Arteezy to level 4 or 5, probably 5, and they're going to go and rotate Visage into mid lane.
PPD? You can find that?
Contesting this rune and maybe trying to contest the... Oh, he finds a haste, but nothing really doing from this.
They want to... I don't know if they want to wait for Arteezy to get his bottle to get the haste rune or what. I think that might be something they're doing. Because if Arteezy can get this bottle on the haste, PPD took it, but every time the other mid laner has a haste rune in their bottle, it's very hard. It's basically a free lane for X time because you can't really gank him.
Yeah, actually the Venge took it and he's going back to Mag.
Yeah.
Trying to zone
so they're not really ganky with their supports. Well, but you wanted to see what they do, and they're mostly just farming the Visage for now.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud9 is an overall. They don't really move much with their supports early game.
Oh, no, I mean for EG.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, look at Fada, though. He's pressuring RTZ well, but the RTZ is doing really well, actually, CSing wise.
Yeah.
Except he's playing very passive now, right now, because if you notice, if enemy supports are missing in Fog, he has to play very scared on this Lycan mid. It's not worth, it's worth skipping maybe 4 or 5 CS. It's worth losing your lane mid to dodge the enemy ganks. You know, that's one thing as a spectator that most people will see a mid lane. They'll see one here, one versus the other here, especially on two good players like this. They'll say, oh, this guy got owned by that guy. But people don't see these little things like RTZ doesn't see the enemy mag or the enemy Bane or the enemy Alchemist. So he has to play very scared mid, and he's doing a great job. It's not worth him giving experience to enemy supports maybe to get 1 more or 2 more CS. It doesn't matter. He's going to lose his lane mid, but he's not giving the other team supports. Even if they're not ganking, it's worth it. And he's actually going to go Ancient. This is a hard lane for RTZ, but I think he's doing the right call. It's not, you don't want to give a Bane and Alchemist early levels.
They are giving the Terrorblade free farm, though, and you wanted to see them pressure him, but he's not under any pressure right now.
Now, question to you, Sam, is like you encounter yourself in this situation where you are the Terrorblade, you're free farming. Do you take that tier 1 tower quickly, or do you just like static lane farm?
Cloud9 doesn't do that much. They don't take enemy tier 1 safe lane early. They rather just abuse the enemy safe lane jungle. Because the thing is, when you pressure the enemy safe lane, the enemy offlane tower is also you draw attention to that tower, and they would prefer to draw as little attention to their safe lane as possible. They want enemy to just free farm.
If we're really quiet, maybe they'll forget we have a Terrorblade.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That works in pubs. It
that's
really does.
That's actually how they play, actually. Another thing to note is that...
this could be first blood.
I don't know.
PPD's waiting, but if
He's not
RTZ walks
6
into this clap, it gets spotted.
Oh, no, yeah. It just has to run.
Gank's over, folks. That was close, though.
If he had waited a little bit more, maybe he could have gotten the courier, but right now it's hard.
RTZ is playing actually really well right now. I'm impressed. He hasn't died to any ganks. He's playing safe, and he's keeping up in farm. If you look at CS, he actually went to the Ancients, and he got some gold from that as well.
He's not quite even with Eternal Envy, but they're also not really putting any pressure on Eternal Envy's lane. That Batrider of Universe went straight to the jungle.
I actually guess they're actually pressuring the safe lane tower, the enemy off lane. I think it's...
Commentator's curse.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, well, man. But I think they can do this with the Panda as well, because with Panda's actually not even level 6, but looking at EG's heroes, they actually can't stop the enemy from pushing that early. They don't have any spam.
That's a big weakness of the draft. All they have is Firefly to D-push and Flame Break.
Yeah, and like the Venge can drag the wave. That's really it. That's actually, I think, their biggest weakness in this draft right now is Terrorblade is actually one of the best pushers in the game, especially when he gets these illusions up. Even though illusions, they got nerfed a little bit in terms of the damage they take, the damage they actually deal is the same.
They don't feel like stopping.
And the main hero is still hitting like a truck. Already he's taking down a quarter of the tower's health, more or less.
What they're doing now is that they're forcing pressure to... EG has to respond. I don't think they can give these 2 towers early to Cloud9.
But how? What deck can they bring? They have to... The Lycan does nothing now.
There's no lasso.
That's the strength of these 2 heroes together, by the way. This Alchemist and this Panda together. You have the Acid Cloud.
Funny part is he's not even 6 yet, and they're still doing this. AUI 2000 will charge up a stun, and the rotation comes in. They bring in Zai and RTZ. He doesn't have mana for his ultimate, though, so he's got a body block, and he gets off a good one on AUI. Not perfect. Continuing to pursue him out. Soul Assumption, first blood to EG. And right as they get that first blood, they will pick up a Midas. At the same time, Pylai makes his way into the Dire jungle. He will ward off the Batrider's camp and try to slow down, actually a double ward, although there's already golems, which would be frustrating for Universe. His Blink Dagger is going to be delayed if they don't find these quite a bit.
I'm wondering if that was worth it for Cloud9. Yes,
That's
they got
2
a tower,
obs.
but looking at Fada's experience, he lost a lot of experience doing that, and he lost a lot of CS as well. Like, he could have had a lot more CS, I feel.
If he was level 6 when they did that, they might
won.
have been able to take that fight.
And looking, Zai might be in trouble now.
They got to sleep to start. Level 2 Brain Sap online. They'll clap. Just getting the maximum nightmare damage. He'll Grave Chill and try to retreat out, but that's not going to happen. AUI will now stun himself.
The Visage early game has barely any armor, so he's a very easy kill, especially for Panda.
Yeah, and Eternal Envy will just keep farming now. He's farming their jungle a little bit. He will be able to just stay around there. They actually put the Vengeful Spirit in that lane. They want to get that level 6 in the Vengeful Spirit, but cannot do much by yourself against Eternal Envy.
One thing I've noticed about these teams is they're both very good at farm distribution. Like, they're as efficient as possible. The Terrorblade will go into the jungle. They give the lane to the support. Same for the Lycan. They stack really well, and they don't waste too much time with their rotations. It's a strength for EG and for Cloud9.
Yeah, that's by far, I think, I think the main reason is because they play 2 of their supports as a core on only one support on each team
Yeah,
plays
you've got
kind of as a core.
Zai and AUI
Yeah,
2000.
that's the biggest reason.
However, even as you speak about that, you look at Universe and he has 40 CS by the fact that
Yeah,
he
they've
can actually go
stacked
to
really well.
the jumble. And Ty Hunter, still not level 6, and with only 8 creeps to his name.
Yeah, Tide is one of the heroes you're always fun.
Universe, not off to that powerful start here. There is.
Oh.
Oh, he's on an awkward position. I don't know if they can engage into this. They're going to try and clap
They
from the
can.
low ground,
That's
but
fine.
yeah, not going to happen.
I don't know if they smoked that for that or not. I didn't see.
I didn't see either.
Actually, I don't think they did because Pi has a smoke still.
So they're going to try to deward, perhaps? No, not doing anything yet.
And he finds a golem.
They risked a lot. They invested 2 observer wards in blocking off these camps, but so far it
Oh,
seems
the
to be
kill
paying
on
off.
Universe?
And
Oh
not
my
again.
God, this is
Universe caught out one more time by Fada and just right-click down. They slow down the only initiator for EG.
that invis rune.
Yeah.
There's no ward vision either for EG right now. They don't see that rune. They don't see either rune, actually.
Fada's playing really well right now. He's pressuring insanely. It doesn't even matter if he's getting the CS. I think the way he's playing right now on the map is he's scaring the enemy team.
Arteezy's going to...
can't kill him.
Look at mid tower though, while he's doing this.
Yeah, he's zoning out the Lycan. The mid tower is about to be denied. EG are getting run over a bit. PP will charge in. He gets slept. And then Cloud9
Great.
look for a retreat. Universe lasso at the ready, but a brain sap discourages that. And they go back in for the tower. Can they get off the deny?
Oh,
No! Uh-oh. Jinx.
Oh, this is the strength of these 2 heroes together, LD and Bruno. The Terrorblade and the Panda together. Them,
Yeah, one of them benefits a
They're not
lot
even-
from the early lead, and the other creates that early lead
yeah, it's
so
not
well.
even that. It's that they're actually using Terrorblade very differently than how they used it last game. Last game they were just farming. They weren't really putting pressure. But with the Panda, the thing about Panda compared to the Mag is that Panda can pressure way more than the Mag. The Panda is an initiator, while Mag is a counter initiator. So with that, they can take these fights. And once this Alchemist gets levels up, he's going to have level 4 Acid Spray soon. I assume he's going to level up Acid Spray there. He might not. They're just going to go Acid Spray the towers, and they're going to threaten the enemy team. They can basically just push all of EG's towers down very easily with the Panda ulti, as well as the Tide Ravage, as well as the Acid Spray, and the Terrorblade attacking from long range.
And now they've got their Brew Blink. The Tide Hunter is not too far off. Mag, let's see, are there any Ancients? There is a big stack waiting for him.
Also, that Invis kill was so big from the Bat Rider. I think that was probably the biggest game-changing thing that happened so far, besides the taking towers, is because it delayed his blink so badly.
They missed on one of the D wards here, and it's on a
And look
crucial
at
camp.
Arteezy.
The big camp.
Arteezy-
time,
Oh, he got
caught
shot.
out.
He's dead. He's gone.
Yeah.
No.
Crew split, Lycan down. Another victory here for Cloud9.
And they put a ward just to block those Ancient as well. They're going to take the Ancient.
Their economy is so far ahead right now. The Bat Rider's been
oh.
slowed down. They're chasing onto Eternal Envy. He hasn't skilled Sunder yet. He is at level 8 now. They stomp, but not enough to finish off. And they're going to steal what little Ancients remain, perhaps. Their entire team is fighting for now. Familiar seem to be the goal, and there's your crit.
Wow. Oh,
One
no,
more
he
auto
lives.
attack. Run Familiar. Retreat. Cloud9 just doing so well in this game.
Oh,
Now Blinking on
Universe.
Universe. The Blink Dagger could be delayed. He's just a little bit gold short. Can he get it in time? No.
Oh, the swap. So good.
One more auto attack though. Pylite Dice diving for it. Oh, gets that sleep off. That'll be the kill.
Pylite
Oh,
die!
so
That
well
was so
played.
good.
What
by
a
him.
selfless play by
Look
him.
at Bat Raider's gold, man.
At
You're
the same time, Mag is being chased out by Fear, but they'll TP away to safety.
Yeah, sick
He
play
was
there
so
from Pylite.
close to his Blink. He had like 2180 or something.
Yeah.
So
All
ballsy.
blink and he would have gotten it, but a little bit more expensive now.
It's a rare sight to see Universe shut down, but he's been thoroughly shut down this
I think
game.
the first one was just very unlucky because the Panda got an Invis rune at top lane and then no vision. That was just unlucky. The second one also was just Pilot Eye taking that aggressive risk there. He suicided his life to delay the blink, and that was worth it. I think people will see this game and they'll say Terrorblade OP, but I think the way that Bane and the way that Panda are playing is winning them this game. I think Cloud9 can have... It's not about any other hero, it's that the difference between last game and this game is that they have a Panda this game, and you don't want to give Fada Panda. I think his win rate on that hero is incredibly strong.
Well, truth is, this game has been a 4v4 so far. Neither Mag nor Fear have moved out of their lane or have any impact at all in the team fight. And now my question to you, Volba, is when these heroes actually come online, isn't Fear the more scary hero to just be worried just than having a TIE Hunter with an extra stun?
I don't know, man. I think Weaver... It's hard for Weaver to do much this game, I feel.
Yeah, if he runs in, he gets gripped, he gets ravaged. They have a lot of AoE, and
Yeah.
his damage output, he's going for the Linkage build, but
It's
it
more
just takes so long for him to come online.
How will he fight in the Acid Spray? His armor is going to be insanely low. With the Acid Spray hits him, he's not going to be able to do enough physical damage. And he's not going to be able to contest towers.
Look at Fada, posted up well past the river. Familiar's trying to slow him down. They look for the courier, but can't get it.
Nope.
Creating a lot of space for his team here.
He has
They
to dagger.
finally get that Bat Rider blink, but who's going to go ganky with him? Maybe it's the familiars.
Yeah.
Both teams purchased a medallion, and both teams definitely have their eyes on Roshan now, as we see Cloud9 with a 2,500 gold lead, down on experience by a little bit.
I think this is one of EG's first games, I feel, where they're actually in a deficit early game. I don't think any other tournament, any other game this tournament, they've been in a very big deficit. In the
Even
early
that
game.
is true. Even Secret, they were winning.
Yeah,
or
every game they've had a very good early advantage. This is the game where I feel they're not doing anything right now. I feel they're just
here
afraid.
comes the smoke can. Can they do something to Fada? No, they're too far away. And Universe gets the jump.
Can they burst him down in time? They pull him in, and yep,
They definitely can.
That
not
was a
nearly
good
enough
kill.
of
And they're
it.
going to run to Roshan. Arteezy knows this. He's automatically running to Rosh. They need to get this Roshan. This Roshan is probably the biggest move that EG can make right now.
And Brewmaster has no
At
buyback.
the same time, though, they're trying to catch out Fear here. They've dropped down a sentry, but he scurries away
Okay,
to the southeast and will escape.
Roshan's
So
going to
they
die
die.
really fast. And EG knows that the Bane and the Alchemist are top lane. They can't really contest the Roshan at all with that Panda down. This was a big pick off there on Fada.
Fear again, just toying with AUI and Pi. We have that grip online, but Aegis now picked up by Arteezy. EG perhaps with an opportunity to strike back. Their lasso still cooling down. This also lets them get into the enemy woods, deny a bit of farm to Eternal Envy.
Back here comes the push top as well, and Eternal Envy doing what he did all the game. Pressure bottom first, got the 2 towers, got 1 tower mid. Now this tower top, there is a glyph, but I don't think anyone will rotate. Yeah, here comes
Even
the
with
push.
Aegis, you're fighting into Brew Split, into Ravage, assuming they want to leave their whole team top. And, well, Fada's lumbering that way.
When the shapeshifts cool down, it's very hard for EG. I think they need the shapeshift, but they have the Aegis, so they can still contest towers.
They're going to sleep. 1 to start, Arteezy. He's the
Oh.
Aegis carry, but they blink in.
Oh,
Ravage
nice
to
fear.
go, and they shred Fear before he can time-lapse. Now looking for the secondary kill. They'll bring down Arteezy. He has the Aegis. PPD lumbers in. He cancels the Pilot ITP, who runs the other way, survives, and now Arteezy, the wolf, pursued out by the twin-headed, or the double-winged demon, I should say. They'll bring down Arteezy as well.
Well, we were talking about X Factors before, and it was that TIE Hunter with a double Ravage right there. Ravage on 2 people. Fear. He had the time lapse, like he couldn't do anything. He was entirely stunned the whole
Yeah.
time.
I mean-
what was that?
And meanwhile, there, Fada and the Alchemist were actually killing. They were distracting the Bat Rider as well as the Visage from doing anything there. So EG was caught in 2 different places at once.
Yeah.
And that's with an Aegis.
That
That's
is-
how strong their 5-man is. Very
It's
scary.
this Bane, I mean, it's this Tidehunter, this Panda, and then this kind of carry hero. They made so much space in the early game right now. This is one of the. Envy's gonna have a really fun game. I don't foresee him really dying unless he's completely out of position in this game. He's gonna have one of those X-0 games. On the
Again,
TV.
question to you, Sam. Normally you would see a Terrorblade going for Skadi here, but against a Weaver and a Lycan, do you still go for the item because of the value it brings, or
I
do you
think
just
it's
rotate?
fine. I think you always go the Scotty. I think Envy will always go the Scotty after, because the stats on that hero and the amount of the illusions that the damage that the illusions benefit from it is fine. Scotty just owns, I think, this hero. It's by far like one of the best items. So
It's a nice build-up, too. Gives you a lot of stats along the way. And looking at EG, they don't have quite as much mobility as they did last time around. All they really have is Sakuchi and Firefly. Well, actually, Lycan's
Lycan,
pretty mobile,
yeah.
yeah. But these supports will not be able to escape
Yeah.
if they get jumped.
and Panda level 11 now. AUI has his medallion.
I don't know, I'm
Why are we
clapping.
clapping?
People are clapping.
Everyone's clapping, so I guess we're
Panda
clapping
is
too.
clapping as well very well.
They have Vision of Envy. This kill is big, so he's gonna have 1 death this game.
He's got Sunder, though, and a Man-Stuck, and they chain stun. He mantas out. He gets up
Oh.
to Sunder. Oh, no!
Oh.
Still, they might kill him. Claps here from Fada. He tries to
Oh my God.
counter-initiate. That could have been a total disaster.
have
A
mana.
1-for-1.
He doesn't
Now
have
Fada
mana.
blocked in by a wolf as AUI will stun himself. No, gets off the long-range lob on Arteezy. There is a grab available for Pilot Die. He can go for the
Oh
Fiend's
my
Grip now, and he
God.
will.
Oh my
How
God.
did they catch him? It's a Hail Mary stun that AUI 2000 uses to secure that kill on the other side of the fight. PPD will be chased down by your Tidehunter. He has Ravage, not going to use it, just a Blink Anchor Smash. That's all it takes.
That Sunder change, Sundere.
Just mashing the crap out of that Manta-style button, and the Venge stun was just a split-second slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, PPD made a mistake there. He waited too long.
Yeah, actually, similar thing happened with his Silencer yesterday, where the chain stun just wasn't quite right. Well, the silence follow-up or counter-initiate wasn't quite right.
That just kind of, this Panda is just doing work, as well as the Bane. Right now, the MVPs on this team, this Bane and this Panda, completely owning on Cloud9. Yeah, Envy's playing well, but the amount of space that he got this game, I mean, Envy's a good player, but I think anyone else could have, or any other carry player could have done that with the amount of good play that Bane and this Panda put out. Fada 5-1. Already has his Vlads, his Blink, and his Treads. His movement on the map has been exceptional.
Yeah, and that's a difference from game 1 as well, where he couldn't have a great impact with the Magnus. Now, right now, with the Panda, he's finding so much space. And also just like being very conscious with his use of the ultimate, because he hasn't popped it every single time. Sometimes you see a support and you just pop, you secure the kill. He's been waiting, he knows when he can kill people, and just by the fear of having the availability of the ultimate all the time makes EG very, very hard to engage into that. And the Ancient stack is now going to go to Envy.
Yeah, I think a big thing of that is that he can initiate and just clap and attack is because he has so much counter initiate, Bruno.
Yeah.
He is the Tide Hunter Ravage. That's one of the cool things about this lineup that Cloud9 has, that they have both the Tide initiate as well as the Panda initiate. So it's very, very hard for EG to really burst the Panda, even if they lasso him, if the Tide is close. If the Tide is in Fog, I feel EG, EG takes a big risk initiating on any of Cloud9's heroes if Tide is in the Fog, even if they go in the Panda. Because the Tide Ravage just lets the Panda always get the ulti off. So the only way they... Like thinking when you play these lineups, when you play these kind of games, you always have to think how the team fights are going to go, who's going to use what spell on what hero. And the way I see it is just any combination of spells that EG uses.
Top lane
really
Fear,
hard.
is he going to get caught?
He's got Sakuchi. He'll retreat, but not entirely. Pylite die close. He'll drop a sentry. But Fear hugs the northern
he knows.
Yeah,
side
Fear
of
knows.
it.
That means that EG has to pressure the safe lane.
Does not matter. They're going to Ravage to start this out. Another sentry drop. The Alchemist lobs another stun and Fear time-lapse. And then he time-lapses back into a Fiend's Grip. Cloud9 just blow Fear the hell up, and they take a tier 2 as well. They're also looking to defend bottom. They still have a Brew split for this.
Yeah, good call there from the Tide Hunter.
Yeah, that was very
And Fada already TP to defend the tier 1 as well. Are they going to get RTZ here?
Eternal Envy will follow up, but the boulder toss comes from long range, but he just outruns the boulder. They can Cyclone here. Do they go for Artesia or do they just look for the PPD kill? Yeah, they'll take the easy Venge kill instead, it looks like. Boulder toss available. They'll dispel it, they'll toss him, and then they'll back off. They don't actually want to go into it.
Oh, shit.
Universe is hiding in the tree line.
I think they saw him, or they might have predicted that he was there, because otherwise you just go for that kill. RTC in itself wouldn't have changed anything right there, but they say, wait, Universe is not anywhere there. We don't want to get a piff off. Remember last game we talked about when you're ahead, you just cut your wings and get away. And this time, C9 did that to perfection.
Yeah,
it's also not that important to kill this Venge.
Yeah,
not really worth the risk.
The biggest thing that is they got the tier 2 tower as well, top as well as the Weaver kill, and they defended bottom lane. And when you get those trades, it's always worth it for you, whether you use any amount of spells.
Oh, they see RTC. They want to go for the stun. Aoi.
Turn around at just the last second. The Fada will blink in. There's no ultimate here for Arteezy for 25 seconds. The Swarm will come through, and Fada just right-clicking Arteezy down as his hasted brew. Now they back off. Fear gets slept. Cloud9 will stagger a retreat. They don't have Ravage or Split, and they're a little bit nervous, but Pylite Die, he wants to go in. Well,
no, he was trying to get them away from the rest of his teammates.
Yeah. He's made some space. They didn't use any. The good thing about EG is they didn't use last or anything. And
that was without Brew Split or Ravage, though. Yeah. So I mean, I think wise, just cut your losses.
I mean, they made so much space right now because Envy got the entire jungle to farm, and he's going to be able to push out bottom lane, and that means he's going to get a Scotty very, very soon.
He's 1,000 gold away from that Scotty. He's going to be pretty scary for the support. Zai, I mean, he's trying to farm right now. He's trying to get something going on for him, but he's really far away from that Axe Scepter. And even when he gets it, I don't know if that's enough.
What can EG really do to come back right now? It's a hard call to make.
They have to rat this?
They need to wait for the next Roshan, I feel. I think they need the Aegis. They
have look for Eternal Envy here. Well, not on his own. Universe isn't getting that kill.
They need BKB up on the Lycan. They also need the Lincolns up on the Weaver. Because the Sleep and the Alchemist Stun as well as the Fiend's Grip is just really annoying for a Weaver to play versus. That's one of the reasons that Bane is one of the best heroes versus Weaver. So you have basically 3 ways
to break Lincolns.
Yeah, 2 ways to break the Lincolns. So
yeah, everything seems to be going okay for C9, and our prediction of 2-1 might be becoming true, or at least it's not really going in EG ways right now. Fear gets the Lincoln, as you said, but C9, RTC, or sorry, not RTC, Eternal Envy, I think already has enough gold for the full Scotty, and yeah.
Check out AO's items also. He's going the Crimson Guard item. When he gets that item
is so good to verse all these summons.
Good,
and the Weaver's double attack. They'll jump on Fada bottom lane. They got up a lasso on him, but here comes the backup. They stun Fada to start. He still almost gets off his split. Nice flame break. Great. But still, counter initiation for Mag. It's only a Ravage onto a Universe Bat. The Lycan already dropped during that.
Yo, check out Roshan. If Cloud9 can spot this out, they can do the Roshan actually really fast.
Yeah.
They must have the timer up, so they should know it could spawn right now. Maybe
Probably
AOI will
always
check
gonna
it.
no. They're letting the rune to Eternal Envy.
Yeah, but still, it's I don't know if
PPD, what are you doing there? Did I see him? Did I see him?
He's setting up a trap on AOI 2000. With the Vanguard, he's quite tanky. He actually uses Medallion offensively. That causes him to die quicker. They get a kill. Bit of an unexpected kill, honestly.
That was a nice hide. He was just in the trees.
Here
Couldn't be
comes the
seen.
Terrorblade.
comes the
Dun,
turret.
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
Can
so
he get
the-
in range? No.
Nah, just walk it off. He knew that his Metamorphosis was about to run up, so he just goes back and starts farming instead. But yeah, as you said, the Roshan seems to be very important right now. And Fear, knowing that he cannot really fight this 5v5 and the Lycan is not making the things that he should do, Fear decides, okay, I'm gonna just push, put pressure and force the rotations.
Yeah, this game I feel comes down a lot to Universe, whether he's going to get the right spells off at the right time. If they can get a really good initiate from the Batrider and burst someone and then force the fight
Who do you
at
jump to?
45,
Who do you jump on?
he might be a little bit trouble here. Is he gonna
He's got a blink soon. He's going to flame break Mag in. And still retreats.
It depends on the location of the fight. You know, it's who's out of position. Obviously, the priority kill is the Terrorblade, as well as the Panda. But those two heroes are very hard to kill when the tide is always in the fog. And Terrorblade overall is just a hard hero to kill. He has a Scotty up right now, so 23-minute Scotty into the Manta. So, and he's also going to get level 16 up soon.
The thing is that if it feels like you have the tide jump, you have the Bane with probably a 4-staff after these arcane boots. So it's going to be really hard, even if he goes BKB, but rather to actually get the Terrorblade, because there's so many ways it can counter-initiate you that it's not even funny.
No.
They're going to
Pada
jump in on
chasing.
Universal. TP up to the high ground. They get off a crit. He's able to TP out. So retreat successfully.
PPD.
Fear's just farming away. He hasn't really been in any real big fight. It's a hard game for Weaver, in my opinion. I
What
don't
do you
know-
go for if you're Weaver right now?
I think he needs the MKB. I'm not sure, actually. He might also need a BKB for the Tide Ravage, but I think MKB to be safe, or even the Deso. I'm not sure. They need the burst. We have to wait and see what he gets.
For now, Cloud9 aren't waiting for Fear to farm. They're sieging out this mid tower.
Is there glyph?
The illusions are just slashing through it.
Snow glyph.
Because you know TB's next item is going to be the Butterfly. And if they don't have an MKB by the time he gets Butterfly, I don't know what they could do. He also goes for the BKB occasionally. But I think this game, I don't know if he really needs the BKB. I think a Butterfly is really good because most of the damage that EG has is the physical damage. They have the Lycan summons, they have the Visage Birds, they also have the Weaver damage.
Yeah,
So-
unlike last game, there's no built-in hex,
Yeah.
and there's no real natural hex builder. Maybe you're bat, but that's going to be
Yeah.
quite a ways
He
off.
could even go for the other build where he goes the Heart.
Oh,
but-
Universe finds CE, wants to jump on him. No, he realizes he can. Manages to blink away.
Fada going with the Drunken Haze chase. That'll be on the
check
end
out
of
the
it.
Roshan pick now. So EG's going to try that for Roshan. Does Cloud9 know that's up? Does Cloud9 know that EG is doing it? They did have a Warden when they walked in, so they do know. This is going to be a really big fight.
Eternal Envy's in the front, and
know, they know.
EG bring it low. They're going to try to jump in. They managed to get the Aegis on the Lycan immediately. Mag now retreating out Arteezy in BKB form. They bring Mag low. They do almost manage to finish him up, but not before he drops the Ravage. Catches
Oh
out
my
two.
God, look at the
PPD
damage.
getting run over.
disaster.
Your Terrorblade hitting way
He's dead.
too hard, and Arteezy is going to die. He comes back now in human form. That's going to be a secondary death for him. The entirety
Universe.
of Cloud9 surrounds him. 4-step up the hill, maybe not. No, they blink over the repeat. Clap to follow. The auto attacks, the slow, and it's enough to get the kill. That's a total of 3
And
heroes as
oh
well
my
as an
God, Bat
Aegis.
also got stunned.
And they're not done yet. The bat continues to be pursued. Low to the urn charge, and he settles on top of the hill.
Fear is chipping away though.
Yes, chipping is the right word.
Yeah.
Fear
Whereas
just
you've
hasn't
got
been
like a
able to do anything in these
you've got a
fights.
jackhammer in the form of this Eternal Envy Terrorblade.
They got Pi like that, which made it a 3v2
Fear
with
needs
an
to YOLO
Aegis.
take a Rapier, and I think that's what he's going to do. They know the only way they can win this game, I think, is with the Rapier on the Weaver. And he did buy the Relic.
Mhm.
So
It is very risky though. I mean, you're still really squishy.
yeah, but I don't see any other way they can win this game. They don't have enough damage right now. And even these fights, like the Acid Spray, the Bane, the Medallion on the Lycan, as well as a few right clicks from the TB, Arteezy, even with the BKB on, just dies so fast. He has to get the AC up. He has barely any armor when those things are on him. He has
Yeah, but it's-
basically negative armor.
It's so far away from the AC right now. He's still about 2,500 gold, and with Fear taking the role of main farmer and just trying to secure that jungle and that safe lane, it's going to be tough to for Lycan to find enough gold.
Speaking of ACs, we're about to get one on our Brewmaster, but it's for Cloud9. They're the first ones to claim an Assault Cuirass. So at this point, EG can only equalize. They can't even like pull ahead defensively with that. It will help the Lycan a bit still from the non-aura armor, but
Oh my god,
not
look
that
at
much.
Fada, man. He's playing so well this game.
7-2-4. He's
And
been involved in all their
Vibes,
pushes. He slowed down the Batrider blink, which was EG's only tempo control.
Yep.
He's done well in the team fights. There was only one time where they burst him before he split, and that was
Yeah.
with absolutely picture-perfect play from Universe. Still not really
Yeah.
close
Do you
to
remember
enough.
the last time Universe was shut down in a game?
It's
like-
very rare.
It is very rare.
With the Ogre Magi yesterday?
He wasn't really
Uh,
shut
no,
down
I
in the
don't think he was
laning
shut-
stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
just
yeah, he
fell
didn't
off.
do that much.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, the problem is right now is that if Panda can get these 2 items before 30 minutes, I don't see how the other team can win. These are probably the 2 best items in the game on Panda. It's like the best synergy ever. When people stopped going this
Oh.
Aghanim Scepter on the Panda and
Those
started going these 2
birds.
items,
Are dead.
it made them so much stronger.
They have
Rip
a,
birds.
where are they going to go? Uh-oh. Right into Eternal Envy? Nope. No, not that way. Not maybe that way? Yeah. There you go.
Nice dodge.
So
They almost have Refresher, too. Like, Mag is he's only had to use Ravage a handful of times, but they will soon have... They already have the AC on Panda. They're about... Oh, Radiance. Not going for the...
Oh, I don't like this. I mean, that last fight actually lasted long enough so that Radiant could have done a lot.
I
But
don't
that's
know
going to
if it's
happen
enough.
less and less.
I don't know if it's enough, honestly.
These fights should be over quickly for most of EG.
Right.
Yeah, it's
With the
that-
double Ravage.
It's that the images don't really... I mean, I can see situation as well if he can get the Radiance burn off on the blinks. He can chase as well if the long fights, but I think his entire team is just going to get bursted so fast by all of Cloud9's heroes. They have no way of dealing with this TB. He has way too much protection. And he's and Envy, like I said, he's going to go for the butter. He actually has
He's
it right
got
now. Does
it,
he have
yeah.
it?
Wait, where? Yeah.
Holy
waiting
shit.
for Eagle Horde
29
gold.
minute butter, Manta,
Scotty.
Scotty.
That
Holy
is
shit.
very hard to deal with.
And look at this item. Look at his bottle. He has illusion rune. We're gonna
Again?
Oh.
We saw this earlier today versus Alliance. Eternal Envy with the double Manta style.
Yeah.
Not to mention more illusions that come from your Conjure image. And they're going for high ground now. They won't wait for the double Ravage. They push through the middle lane. Who cares about the next Roshan?
Q right of the
Cloud9
Valkyries.
Yeah.
Dun,
They're gonna go
dun.
for bottom lane. Good call from Cloud9 there.
Party
And he
pooper.
summons everything. Look
They've
at that.
got creeps
Look at that, man.
marching towards the middle lane, and they rotate bottom. An army of ranged Terrorblades. As Bruno sounds what could be the death knell for EG in this
know.
game number 2. It's going to be tough to defend. They get even the Crimson got an AUI. More durability. The Racks just get destroyed. And they now jump onto Zai. Slowed down. They're not trying to kill him yet. Now they are. Mag blinks it. Gets off his Ravage on 2. PPD. Boulder Toss. They've used the Brew Split as well. But Eternal Envy's focusing on Racks during this time.
Zai's out.
They heard the supports back to the well. Eternal Envy now fighting against the Batrider, who doesn't have mana for a lasso any longer. He turns
Ouch.
with the Manta and almost kills off Fear. He will time-lapse, but then gets jumped from the other direction. Maybe they
Oh,
can
they
bring
can
it
get it.
down. Nicely done there with the Familiars. They threw everything at him. Cloud9 did dive the well,
They do hold.
but
after
they lost a full lane of Racks and a tier 3 mid.
How many buybacks? 1 buyback, 2 buybacks.
Yeah. Who bought back Fear bought back and
And yeah. Also.
Costly defense. And it was the Weaver had to buy back, which is one of probably their most important damage dealer at this point, especially going for the Radiance.
Arteezy, he can't do anything in these team fights. He just. There's so
It's so
many
hard
ways
for him.
Yeah.
Bane.
Like he used his BKB,
yeah.
he used his shapeshift.
Bane was
Oh
such
no,
a
actually he
good
didn't
pick.
get that off.
No.
Bane was
Doesn't matter.
the best pick this game, actually. I think a lot of it came down to this Bane. And even though this is a Bane hard game for Bane, is that he's getting so much cover in these team fights. Usually you'd think Bane versus Venge, Visage Birds, as well as the Batrider, it's hard for him to get a full duration grip off in the fights. But he has so much cover in the fights by the Panda and the Tide. It's quite easy for him to get the grip off in these fights, especially with the Blink Dagger as well.
It's just that Universe has so many targets to pick from, and the supports, I feel like both PPD and Zai feel like they need to get aggressive, so to avoid their course to be jumped on. That it's actually making it easier to Vayne just because of EG feel the urgency to apply pressure.
The other nice thing about the Bane is how good it is at shutting down the offlane Batrider. Like that was an issue that I forget what were the supports that Universe was up against that game where he went like got first blood, got another kill at like 2 minutes.
It was versus solo ET.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ca-
it was
it was
a no-tail support
It
Elder
was
Titan.
ET, Coddle, it was ET, Coddle and AM.
I think Cloud9 looked at that game and said, you know what, we can't try to run super greedy supports. We need lane dominating supports that can keep Universe down. And the Bane definitely fills the
I
void
mean,
there.
that's one of like those two supports can't do anything versus Bat Rider.
Yeah, but these two can.
Yeah, but props to Farah as well for just like holding his own very well in a lane that, granted, he normally should win. And also Mag for just, even though he knew that he wasn't going to get much farm at the beginning of the game, was remaining the forgotten factor that when he came, actually created a huge impact for C9.
Looking for that jump in. Universe is up in the trees.
Oh,
Pylite
nice.
Die blinks in. And at the same time, your Bat Rider gets off a lasso. Onto Pylite Die. He's not able to do much, but 2 Ravages from Mag allow them to get this surround off. And they're ignoring the fight for Eternal Envy. He's just going for Rex during this time. Illusions through the mid. AUI's being pursued out while the Bruce Split done his work, but he's already taken off 1 lane of Rex. He's looking for 2.
What a mistake.
He's got this crowd excited here. EG. Bring down 3, but what does it matter? Your base is in shambles. Checkmate, GG. We're going to a game 3. Great turnaround from Cloud9.
The crowd was actually clapping to the actual team fight where Cloud9 was dying.
Yeah.
I checked back and it's like they're clapping and then they're like, they show the panel to where Envy's just taking the racks.
They
and
thought EG was coming back,
They calm
yeah.
down. They're like, oh.
Well, Terrorblade wins.
Yeah,
Proves to 9-1.
9-1. Please.
Sit, relax, Volvo.
Yeah, you
Stay
don't have
a
to
while.
run away.
He's
I mean,
trying
I
to
thought
escape.
you were standing, so I was.
But yeah, no, excellent play coming from C9. They perfectly detected their weaknesses in game 1, executed as they normally do game 2. They found an answer. They found that banning the Jakiro put them on a different position. There goes the game. 1-on-1. Anyone can go now.
Cloud9 is not a team that's known for running heavy team fight either, and normally it's a little bit more spread the map, like spread offense style Dota, pick off, split push. But this tournament, Boba, they started to show a lot more team fight, especially with Mag standing in.
I think
it caught EG off guard this
we
game.
can say what we want about the Jakiro ban, all these things. I think the biggest change was that Fada got his hero. And I don't think Mag fits their playstyle as well as Panda. I think EG, if obviously, I think a 90% chance they're going to ban Panda next game. I don't think you give Fada Panda. We can say however we want about Terrorblade OP. I'm sure we're going to see some stats on Twitter saying, oh, Envy had a great game on Terrorblade. Yeah, he's a good player, but I don't think he won them the game. I think that
Why are you flaming Envy?
I'm not
so
flaming
much?
Why are you flaming Terrorblade?
I'm not flaming him, man. I'm just saying people.
What did he do to you?
I'm saying people look at the score at the end of
he
the
owe you
game.
money?
No, I'm saying people look at the score at the end of the game and assume that guy did everything when it was the Panda and the Bane that just completely won them the game. The amount of pressure they put on the map. Fada with his great rotation, bottom getting the early tower. I think Envy also got the tower kill, as well as securing a very fast blink dagger. Just take that Invis rune kill on the Bat Rider. Everything just completely owned EG. I think the Panda was by far the MVP of this
So
game.
keys to game 3, ban Panda? Is
Yes,
that
ban Panda.
anything else, or is that the main thing?
I think ban Panda.
Pick Panda? They
yes.
have first pick, I think.
I don't think EG runs Panda much though.
No, they don't.
I
No,
think
they're
ban
T0.
Panda.
They do run it for fear a decent amount. Teams have been banning against them. It's not a signature hero for them, maybe the way that it is for, say, Fada or Secret, perhaps for S4. But I have seen them run it for fear a decent amount.
Yeah.
We'll
But-
see.
Okay, well, guys, that wraps up game number 2. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we break down this game, and we look forward to our decisive game 3. The winner moves on to play Secret, but we now have ourselves a ball game. The series all knotted up 1-1. You're watching Starladder Season 10. He's Statsman Bruto on Twitter, of course. You've got Bulba Dota and myself, LD Dota. We'll be right back.